Hello, my name's Ian. First thing to say, this session is being recorded. So if you don't want to be on video, or you don't want to be recorded at all, or you don't want to speak on video, this is being recorded and the recording will be shared. So I suppose if you really don't want to be here, you can always watch the recording. Um, we will answer questions at the end, but please do put them in the chat as we go. If we can answer them as we go, we'll just do that in the chat. If there's anything that we'd rather talk about at the end, we'll talk about it at the end. And then there will also be the opportunity for you to ask questions using your voices at the end. Um, Please also do look at the Swimmer Hub. The link is going to be in the chat, or is already in the chat. You can also find it through your Swimmer dashboard if you click on the link in your email. It has hopefully everything you need to know in there, but obviously we are here to bring it to life and to make sure if there are any questions that we've missed or you have, or any newness, that we can answer all of those for you. So I'm going to begin. Welcome, not quite welcome to the Dart, but almost welcome to the Dart. You will hear me say very many times, this is not a race. The winner is the one who enjoys it the most. So I hope you do enjoy the Dart. I hope you've enjoyed the journey to this point. The prize is in the training and all the hard work and the becoming as much as the doing. So I hope you're having a great time, swimming outdoors a bit, making friends, keeping fit, having fun, all that good stuff. There are four of us on here from Level of Water. I'm not certain how obvious that is, but I will quickly just tell you who's here rather than go around the circle. So first of all, we have Jen Graham, who is our event manager for the Dart10k. She will be doing a bit of the early talking about some of the logistics. Andy Punter is our head of fundraising, director of fundraising, excuse me, to misname you, who, lo and behold, will be talking about fundraising. And thanking you all for, even if you have bought a general entry ticket, all of the proceeds from this event go back to the charity. So Andy will talk you through the impact that all of you are having, and particularly the people who are fundraising as well. But everybody is contributing, and we're deeply grateful for it. It used to just be me. So here we are, thousands of us a year. Thank you. It means a lot. It really does. Um, and then we also have Ben, who is running logistics, back end, making sure tech works, answering questions, and generally facilitating everything else. So that's us. Welcome to the Dart10k briefing. Thank you for coming. I hope you are as excited as we are about it. I hope your swim down this river might be something that you remember for the rest of your life, and for the right reasons. And please make sure to check your email for specific detail. Look on the website, look on your swimmer hub. This briefing will bring it to life, but if you want every detail written down, that's where to find it. We always keep an eye on weather on the run-in to events, and so we will do. And we will keep an eye on any risks around weather. But at the moment, the water temperature is in and around 13, 14 degrees. I expect we should be looking for another degree or two by the time we swim, weather pending. But the forecast is good. We're expecting some heat, which will warm up our waters, and good things will come. Now, in terms of the event itself, obviously it is a brand new event, a brand new route this year. With that comes some changes. So if you have swum the Dart before, we are going to introduce you to those changes and a new route. We're really, really excited. Much of the route remains the same. We lose the first 3 kilometers and we have a new 3 kilometers at the end of the route. But that middle 7k remains. It has also afforded us the opportunity, which we've wanted to do for many years, to give you a ferry ride as part of the experience. which gives us a wonderful opportunity to see the route before we swim it and enjoy, that kind of bird's eye view over what we're going to swim. So there are changes, obviously, around where we're situated, the event village, the transport and logistics, and we'll go through all of that with you. So I can talk. I'm going to hand over to Jen, who will go through some of the timings and logistics, and then I'll talk to you a bit more about the ferry ride and the swim before Andy comes back to run us through some fundraising. Over to you, Jen.
Brilliant. Thank you, Ian. So I'm going to run through some event timings with you. Like Ian said, we will go into more detail about each section of the event on the following slides. But as a top line overview, here are the timings. So I'm sure some of you in the meeting are joining us on Saturday and some of you are joining us on Sunday. So you can see the different timings for each day listed there. So I'll run through these quickly with you and then we'll get into some more detail. So on Saturday, we have a lovely early start at 5 a.m. Slight lie-in for those of you joining us on Sunday. Our parking field opens at 5:30. So on the whole, the timings for Sunday are half an hour later than Saturday, and that's due to the tide time. So we obviously want to set you off at the correct tide time, which influences all of these timings. So really nice early start. Shortly after our parking field opens, we have the first buses running down to the event village. So it's only a short trip, less than 5 minutes down to the event village, which opens at 5:30 on Saturday and 6 o'clock on Sunday. Also at 5:30 and 6 o'clock, we have one bus running from Totnes to Dartmouth. So we obviously realised that people had booked accommodation in Totnes before the change was made. So we've put on this bus and we've opened up bookings. Bookings have closed, but if any of you meant to book it and haven't done it yet, just drop us an email and we can sort that out for you. There is no return bus. It's just the one in the morning because there's no public transport. So it's for those of you in Totnes without cars who need that bus in the morning to get to the event. The buses from the Park and Ride run until 7:15 or 7:45 on Sunday. So please do be prompt for the buses because we want to get you to the swimmer village nice and early, make sure there's no stress for you in the morning. You can come to the village, check in, get your pack, drop your bag, and then be ready for the swimmer briefing. So that will be held in the swimmer village for everybody at the same time at 7:45 and 8:15. And then there'll be a lovely walk to the ferries, which I'll show you in a second. And the ferries will depart Dartmouth at 8:50 or 9:20 on Sunday. So like Ian said, there's a lovely free ferry trip included this year up the river. Ian will come on to the logistics of how this all works later on. But the start of the swim will be from about 10:05 on Saturday to 10:35 on Sunday. And we're expecting our first swimmers back in Dartmouth at 12 or 12:30. Shortly after that, the Park and Ride buses start running again. So from 12:30 on Saturday and 1 o'clock on Sunday, you can get on the bus exactly in the same place where you got dropped off and head up to the Park and Ride. The last swimmer is expected around 2 and 2:30 on Sunday. And then we keep our event village open and keep the buses running until 4 o'clock on Saturday and 4:30 on Sunday. So you can come into the village, enjoy the refreshments, our catering, get your hot chocolate, and just relax and enjoy the entertainment. So this map is available to all of you through the Swimmer Hub. I'm sure some of you have looked at it already. I'm just going to whiz through some of the locations on here so you can be a little bit familiar with the areas that we are working in. So this is Dartmouth. Our Park and Ride site is up here at the top of town, at the top of the hill. So it's not the hard standing Park and Ride that you can see here, and some of you may have parked in before, but we will be parking in this field. So it will all be nicely signposted. We'll have staff and volunteers there to see you in and get you parked up nicely. And then you'll pick up the bus from the regular bus stop just here. So it's a short ride all the way down the hill into town. And here, Coronation Park is our event village. So the bus will just do a loop and it's going to drop you off here, really close to the event village. There's a route in here which is down steps, or there's an accessible route down the hill and into the park at the bottom. So all of the activity will be happening in this park. That's where you will collect your race pack, you'll drop your bag, you will enjoy the catering, listen to the entertainment, and hang around after the swim. We'll also do our race briefing in here. So once the race briefing has happened, there's a 500-meter walk along the coastal front here to the ferry terminal. It's the regular Dartmouth ferry terminal where we'll be boarding the 3 different ferries. So again, we'll come on to the logistics of that later. But just so you're aware, it's a short walk down here. And then obviously the ferries are going to take you all the way upriver to the swim start, which is here at the famous Sharpen Bends. So it's a feature on the Dart for many, many years. This time you'll start there. You'll follow the route all the way back on the usual route. Rather than stopping at Greenway, as some of you may have done last year, you'll continue on and you'll finish here in Dartmouth. So you'll notice that the finish location is up here. It's slightly north of Coronation Park. We're very lucky that we've been given permission from Dart Marina to finish in there. So the final section of the swim will be through this channel here, onto the pontoon, which will be built especially for the event, up the ramp and out of the marina. So it's really important here that you keep on walking, follow our volunteers through the funnels. And then from here is only a short walk back into the event village where you can claim your hot chocolate and celebrate your amazing swim. Oops, sorry about that. So just to touch on travel and parking. Parking in Dartmouth is notoriously hard at any time of year, let alone in the summer. There is no parking in town for more than 4 hours. So that's why we've hired the field for our park and ride. You must park here. There is no other parking. You can get dropped off in town by a spectator. That's absolutely fine. But they would just need to be aware that parking there is very limited. You don't need to book parking at our park and ride. It's free. The bus trip is free for you and your spectators. The buses will be just running on a loop as per those times. They'll be labelled up as Dart10k bus. So you can just hop on that, head down to the village, and then same after the swim. There is a public bus that runs in town. So once our buses have stopped running, if you do want to stay in Dartmouth and enjoy dinner or something in town, you can hop on the public bus. But please note that our parking field closes at 6 p.m. So it's a stipulation of our licence, closes at 6. If you do want to stay in Dartmouth later than 6, please just make sure you move your car from our parking field so it doesn't get locked in. And then the final point here is we just encourage you to car share. We obviously want traffic in town to not be a problem for the locals. We want to be good for the environment, and we want to make sure that we can maximise the space in our parking field. And then final bit from me. So registration is on the morning of your swim. So if you're a Sunday swimmer, please don't come on Saturday to collect your pack. You can only do that on Sunday. Make sure you get there with plenty of time. The buses are running from very early in the morning, so you've got loads of time to come down to the village, collect your pack, which will include your numbered wristband. So you must wear that on your wrist. It sounds obvious, but we have to say it. You get 2 baggage tags this year. So one of those is for your main bag, which you will drop in the baggage tent in the event village. And the second is for your small bag, which you can take on the ferry. So again, Ian will talk a little bit more about this. You also get a skin swimmer wristband, if that's applicable to you, if you've been approved through the skin swimmer process. You'll get your timing chip, which is to be worn around your left ankle underneath your wetsuit. That's just to make sure it stays on, and then we can pick it up with our timing mats at the start and at the finish. You'll get your coloured hat, which indicates which wave you're in, and therefore which ferry you'll go on. And you'll also be able to pick up any merchandise if you've ordered merchandise through registration. We've got loads of food and drink options in the event village. So for you and your spectators, you'll have plenty of choice. And that'll be operating all day. So before the swim, after the swim, while you're out on the ferry, the spectators can enjoy the food as well. We ask you to check your kit. So when you drop off your bag, please make sure you have everything that you need with you to go on the ferries and nothing more. Again, Ian will touch on this. And then attend the briefing. So the swimmer briefing is really important on the day. It will feature safety information and really key details about the specific conditions on that day. So that will happen at 7:45 on Saturday and 8:15 on Sunday. So that's everything from me. We'll hand back to Ian, who's going to talk you through the details of the ferries.
Thank you, Jen. Can we just sit back on the previous slide for 1 second and then I'll come on to the ferries. Um, I'm just going to reiterate a couple of things Jen said because they're really, really important. There is quite literally no parking in Dartmouth for more than 4 hours. It's not a question of a bun fight or get there early. Doesn't exist. I've tried. If you park in Dartmouth, you'll probably end up with a ticket. So the park and ride, it's about a mile and a half up the hill from Coronation Park. It's walkable. It's easier to walk to the river than back. So you probably want to get the bus to the river to make sure, to Coronation Park in the morning to make sure you have plenty of time. But you can walk back. The buses will also be really frequent. But I cannot overstate, there isn't any parking for more than 4 hours. The park and ride also closes overnight. Jen, maybe you want to jump in. I think it closes at 6.
Yes, it closes at 6, so please do move your car if you plan to stay in Dartmouth overnight or have dinner, because you won't be able to get it back after 6.
And they would like it empty overnight. So if your car is there, please don't leave it there. Please come take it out and find somewhere else to park it for the night time. Um, and Jen did say it, but I'll just repeat it. There is food and drink at Coronation Park from 5:30 in the morning. Come early, join in the buzz, get something to eat and drink, go to the loo before there's a queue, get your bag dropped off, take your time. If 800 people all choose to arrive in the last 10 minutes, it's more exciting. All will be well. So, in terms of, sorry, Jen, actually, not yet. Just 1 sec, please. Thank you. Um, in terms of what to bring with you, kit wise, it's normal swim kit. So, yes, your swimmies, a wetsuit if that's your flavor, hat and goggles, nothing hard. So, no fins, GoPros, snorkels, monofins, headphones, nothing fancy like that. You can wear a wetsuit, hat and goggles. Nothing silly, please. Please keep your bag. So we're asking you to bring 2 bags. One is for the main bag drop in Coronation Park. So before we go to the ferries, you can put whatever you want in there, but please make it a modest backpack. So maybe a sort of 20 litre, 4 kilogram backpack. But anything you want after the swim, warm clothes, food, a map of the hiking trails around Dartmouth, that can all go in your bag check in Coronation Park. There will also be a second bag, your ferry bag. So please bring a small bag, aim for like 10 litres, this kind of size, into which you're going to put the 3 things you bring on the ferries, which is a coat, a pair of shoes, and a bottle of water. So that ferry bag is very modest because we need to transport 800 of them from the ferries back to Coronation Park. Um, and to take that basically onto the ferries, you will have your swim kit, so wetsuit, hat and goggles. You will have your ferry bag, which will be your bag and your bag tag. You'll have the things you're going to wear on the ferry, so shoes, coat, bottle of water. And then if you want to take any like fuel, energy gels, obviously you need to take that with you to the swim start. And skin swimmers need a tow float as well. Also any medicine if you want to carry medicine with you on the swim. Just a quick note on skin swimmers. If you are a skin swimmer, you will have received confirmation of that. Without that confirmation, you cannot swim in skins, and you must wear a wetsuit, which means wrist, so sleeves to ankle, sleeves and legs, full length wetsuit. If you have been approved as a skins swimmer, you'll get an extra wristband, and please bring a tow float onto the ferries. You won't be allowed to board a ferry unless you have both. Um, while I'm touching on skin swimmers, toe float again, wristband. We recommend you bring a wetsuit with you, just in case, whether the temperature drops or as a backup, or If you're not registered with us as a skin swimmer, there's been a mistake in, your application was denied and you didn't realize, that kind of thing. We recommend you have a wetsuit so that you can swim under all eventualities. Um, right, that is that. Jen, if we can come on to ferries. Thank you very much. So I'll say this again because I've probably rambled. Just before we go to the ferries, I will give a briefing in Coronation Park. About 10 minutes, not wildly dissimilar to what's in here, but very focused on the swim. When that briefing finishes, we'll walk over to the ferries. So you need to be ready to go. And ready to go means you've got your wetsuit, you've got your hat and goggles, you've got the things you're wearing to the ferry, which is shoes and a coat. If you're a skin swimmer, that can be a dry robe. Otherwise, it's a small warm coat. A bottle of water, and then medication and fuel, your ferry bag, and your bag tag. We will ask you and we will remind you to carry your swim hat in your hand because your swim hat will define which of the three ferries you're going to get onto. So when we get there, right, red hat's this way, orange hat's that way. So please make sure your bag is dropped in plenty of time at Coronation Park, but you have with you those things that you want on the ferry and need on the ferry. As I said, boarding will be hat in hand. Your hat color defines your ferry. That small bag should be just enough that you can cram into there, bottle of water, pair of shoes, and a small jacket. Nothing else fancy. You'll have your goggles, swim hat, wetsuit, fuel, tow float, your bag, and your bag tag, because that's how we're going to identify your bag for you after the swim. So you'll have two bag tags, one to use in Coronation Park and one to use on the ferries. And on the ferries, about half of you will be sitting indoors and half of you will be sitting outdoors. Now, particularly if you're a skin swimmer, but this applies to everybody, your temperature maintenance on the ferries is important. You're all grown-ups, I'm sure you're sensible, but I would recommend that what you probably want to do, pending weather, is have your wetsuit halfway up and a jacket on for the walk. And then if you get a bit hot, take your jacket off. If you get a bit cold, pull your wetsuit up. What you don't want to do is start the swim, particularly underheated and cold, or overheated and sweating. And obviously, if you're a skin swimmer, this is even more important that you don't start cold. So skin swimmers probably want to make their way to the front of the queue and choose, I would suggest, to sit inside so that you can manage your temperature better during the ferry trip. You're all grown-ups. I'm sure you know what you're doing. But just think about what you need. Make sure you're sipping water. If you're too hot, too cold, ask to move seats and we'll make sure you're comfortable. But the ferry ride should be fun. It's going to be a great chance to see the route in the way that none of our swimmers previously have been able to. It really is magnificent. It's a great view from up there. So I hope you all very much enjoy that part of the journey. Jen, can we move on to the next slide there? Thank you. In terms of the swim, obviously I've talked about skin swimmers. You should be able to see you've been approved by now. You must wear a tow float and a wristband, and without those two things, you will not be allowed on the ferry, which means you will not be doing the swim. So make sure wristband, tow float come with you to the ferries. In terms of the start, I think we've probably said this enough times. As the ferries get to the top of the river, there will be pontoons moored in the middle of the river. The ferry will dock alongside the pontoon. These pontoons are really, really big. They are, don't quote me, 20 meters long, maybe 15 meters long. So they are large. When you get on them, you don't feel like you're on some little floating thing. They're really big and stable. The ferries will be securely attached to the pontoon, steps on, and then what we will do is probably ask people to exit zone by zone in the same way that you do for an aeroplane. So, can seats 1 to 10 get up and move, just so that we don't have too many people in the aisles. when we are getting ready to get off the ferries, we need to be able to move at a certain pace to make sure that all the people can start the swim in the time expected. So what we'll ask is like rows 1 to 10, make sure you're ready. Wetsuit zipped up, hat and goggles on, bag closed with the tag on. Then you'll come around to the exit door, drop your bag in a numbered large rubble sack. So it'll say, if your participant number is 403, there'll be a bag that says 400 to 425. You drop your bag in there. Um, so you drop off your bag and then make your way down the steps off the ferry. No rushing needed. You'll be on the pontoon and have the opportunity just to take your time, make sure you're ready, sit down on the side of the pontoon, enter the water, and acclimatize. So if you want to float for a minute, kick a bit, let some water in your wetsuit, check your goggles, do a bit of breaststroke and settle in, just take your time. Because there's always a bit of adrenaline at the start and there's that risk of kind of gung-ho going off too fast. Just ease your way in, let yourself settle into the water, get used to that feeling. Um, and from there, it's the start of the swim. We're actually starting the swim on the left-hand side. So where we exit the pontoons will take us onto the left-hand side of the river. But once you're around the first corner, we will cross onto the right-hand side. The lifeguards will help you with that and make it obvious, very obvious, where we are crossing. And from there, we stay on the right-hand side the whole way down. It's a big old estuary. So there will be points when you're looking around and going, not quite sure where I am, or which way the river's going. That's fine. That's normal. Head up. You'll see the line of swimmers in front of you. If you want some advice, lifeguards, paddlers will be able to come over and assist you. But this is the magic now, right? You're in it. Take your time. Don't wish it away. It is not a race. The person who gets it over with the fastest is not the winner. The winner is the one who enjoys it the most. So yeah, I would encourage you to just stop and take your goggles off once in a while. My favorite part of the course is probably the first 2K and the last 2K. So, don't be afraid after 10 minutes to just take your goggles off, have a little look around, enjoy being in the river, surrounded by nature and 800 other hardy fools. It's just us and the boats out there. There's no footpaths, there's no road access. So this really is the only way to enjoy the river. We have a great water safety crew. They will be on hand at all times. If you ever want help, just roll on your back, arm in the air, and they will paddle over to you. 9 times out of 10, it's a sip of water. I swallowed some water and need to cough a bit. I'm not quite sure how far we've gone. I'm losing the will and need a little pep talk. But it's, have a chat to the paddler, ask for the sort of assistance you need, and you'll usually be able to carry on. If you then need further assistance, they will call a boat over. We can get you onto the boat. And that might mean assistance on the boat and back in the water. It might mean jumps forward a little bit if you're coming right off the back of the pack, and swimming kind of slower than the minimum 40-minute mile that we've suggested. It's only 5 or 10 people. Or it might mean this isn't my day, and we'll make sure we can get you out of the water to dry land and to the finish. So I hope you really enjoyed the swim. Like this is, kind of the hallmark 10K marathon distance swim in the country. It's an absolute classic. People look forward to this and train for this for years. So, take your time out there, make the best of it. There are 2 feed stations, which are at roughly 4K and 7K. What that means is that they break the course really neatly into 3 chunks. So you've got a start, a middle, and an end third. That 7K one can take a while to come. But yeah, when you see it, you're on the home straight. The current will be starting to push harder, pick you up and help you a bit with the work. At those feed stations, we have water, flapjacks, bananas, and sweets. The water and the bananas and the flapjacks are vegan. The sweets are not vegan. We found the vegan ones so chewy we couldn't eat them in a swim. And the flapjacks are not gluten-free. So the bananas are gluten-free. The sweets are also not gluten-free. The bananas are, the water is. But if you're vegan, aim for the flapjacks and bananas. If you're avoiding gluten, aim for the bananas. I think that's that. As we come to the end of the swim, and Jen's shown you on a map that we'll come down this channel on the edge of the marina, your spectators will be waiting for you at the marina bar. So there's a bar and cafe outside there, beautiful terrace, and it's one of the nicest marinas in the country. It's wonderful. They've welcomed us and allowed 800 people to maraud out of the river in wetsuits. It's quite a spectacle, and I hope they enjoy it, and I hope they have us back. But yes, your spectators are very welcome. That is a public bar. It overlooks the finish line at the marina. They'll be serving, alcoholic and non-alcoholic beverages. I'm sure there'll be some version of food or I think they might be putting a pizza van there. But please support the marina. Encourage your spectators over there as well as in our event village in Coronation Park. They're very welcome to come and watch you finish. And for you, the swimmer, at the finish, the lifeguards will direct you to the right-hand side of the river. We'll then pass under a bridge and be in a channel which is about 15 meters wide. So it's not narrow, might feel narrow compared to the river. But we'll just make our way up that channel, and then there's a slope where you'll get out. Immediately then over the timing mat. So no need to rush or panic or run to save yourself 10 seconds. And then we make our way up the gangway in the marina, over the bridge onto dry land. And that's where your spectators will be. You will not be allowed to stop and hug and say hello to them then. You must continue moving through that marina area along the waterfront. It'll be obviously marked, but you are not checked out of the swim yet, and we don't have space for 800 people to stop with a queue of people trying to get out of the water behind you. So we will keep you moving through that bar area. You walk about 50 meters, and that's our official finish funnel. What the finish funnel means is that we're going to take off your timing chip, take off your wristband, note your number down on your hand if we've lost any of those bits. We are officially making sure you're out of the water. It's a safety check, and if anybody is unaccounted for, we're out searching. So do not walk off before you've gone through the finish funnel. It is absolutely critical safety check for everybody. And equally importantly, so sorry, where that finish funnel is will also be an emergency rewarming tent. So if anybody is very cold, we will get you there, check you out, and make sure that you are being warmed up with medical supervision. For those who aren't medically cold, you are maybe 100 meters, 150 meters from the event village in Coronation Park. So you walk back there in whatever you swam in. Grab your hot chocolate in your finisher's mug, famous Dart10k finisher's mug, and the party awaits. There will be food and drink and music and hundreds of very satisfied swimmers ready to party. So that's that. If anybody here has any additional needs, anything we can do to support your swim that we're not aware of already, please let us know. If we are aware of them, you would know because we would have spoken to you by now. So if you have additional needs and you haven't talked to Ben, please let us know. You can just drop us an email to swim@levelwater.org. And we're a disability charity, so we will make it work for you, understand your individual needs, and figure out a solution that works for everybody. Individual solution that works for you, for all, every, and anybody. So that's briefly that. I'm going to touch on water quality. There's not a huge amount to say here because we don't have any concerns about water quality on this course, no raised concerns. there, inevitably, as with all outside water in the UK, there can be fluctuations and one-off problems. We monitor water quality very, very closely. It is the reason that we've changed the course. It is between 10 and 30 times better where we're starting than it was in Totnes, where you were expecting to start. Um, so if we have any cause for concern, we will communicate with you. Our policy basically is full openness, you're adults, informed decision making. So, if we've got any cause of concern, we'll send you everything that is publicly available. We do our own testing as well. The tests we've done so far this year are off the charts low, which is great. So the water quality that we have seen so far this year is great. Obviously, we will keep an eye out for any heightened concerns in the run-up to the event. Anything else here I haven't touched on? Asking for help, hand up, accessibility, Ben, sickness. If you are not well, please don't come. If you've had sickness, stomach bug, diarrhea in the 48 hours before the swim, I know it's desperately sad, but this is not a good time for you to get in a river, and it is not a good time for you to be in close contact with hundreds and hundreds of other people. So if you are unwell, please don't travel. And as with any open water swimming, we would recommend that everybody washes their hands with soap after getting out of the water. We provide hand washing stations and soap in Coronation Park and would recommend you wash your hands before you eat. Also, if you have been diagnosed with a heart condition, there are elevated risks for people with heart conditions in open water. Please talk to your doctor before you swim. I think that's it. It's a side note. I should have said it at the start, but the swimmer in front of you has priority. So please be nice to each other. If well, first of all, look where you're going, particularly at the start when more of us are closer together. And please don't swim over someone who's sort of breaststroking and settling in and building their confidence and getting ready to start. Then getting stormed over is not the start they were looking for. If you do happen to flatten someone, please stop and say, "You're all right. I'm sorry. Everything okay?" Um, we're all friends out there, so look out for one another. I think that's it. I'm going to hand over to Andy P, and we will come back to your million questions at the end.
Amazing. Thank you, Ian. Hello everyone. I'm Andy, and I lead our fundraising team here. So it's my enormous privilege to be chatting to you all tonight because I feel like I have basically the best job because I get to talk about the charity, I get to talk about the impact, I get to talk about the reason why we're all doing this. Look, thank you all for coming. Thank you all for signing up to take part in this incredible event. Thank you for the fundraising that you've done so far. You're part of something really powerful, really important. The Dart10k is not just another swim. It's it's, as you already know, an incredible, unforgettable experience that you'll never forget. It will bring the swimming community together, but we're also doing something pretty spectacular at the same time. So whether you've got a charity ticket or a general entry ticket, every stroke you take funds one-to-one swimming lessons for children with disabilities. And you are directly creating a lifetime of confidence and joy in the water, which we think is pretty spectacular. So, as you know, this iconic event is one of the greats, one of the must-do events in the swim calendar. And look, I've been doing a bit of calculations this evening in preparation to chat to you. And I think if we add up your entry fees and we add up what we expect to be getting from the fundraising that you've already done, I think we can say that you collectively generate to about £250,000. And if you need a bit of context, that's about 16,500 swimming lessons. It's actually a little bit more than 16,500, but I wanted to make it a round number. And that's happening all around the UK. It's happening in your local area. It's happening because of you. Now, you've already met Ian. You've heard from Ian. He started Level Water back in 2012, started up in one pool. 14 years later, because of people like yourselves, we have over 1,500 kids swimming at over 250 pools. But in spite of our rapid growth, demand for our service really just continues to grow, and there's lots left for us to do. Our waiting list currently stands at about 8,000 children, and it's rising every week. And of the kids on our waiting list, around 4 out of 5 of those don't meet physical activity guidelines. Nearly half of them have tried to access lessons and failed 3 or more times. And to a degree, I speak from experience. I am the parent of a disabled child who can't swim. And it's, for me, one of the reasons why this is so personal. Mainstream group lessons often don't meet the needs of disabled children. And private one-to-one sessions can be hellishly expensive if you can even find one in your area at an appropriate time. So with your help, we're creating a future where every single child has an opportunity, equal opportunity, to play, move, and grow through swimming, through activity, and give them a lifetime of joy. So for the fundraisers amongst us, those of you who bought one of those sacred charity tickets, the ones that I love so much, the next couple of weeks, it really matters. This is where your fundraising really takes off. Historically, we always see a huge spike in our donations just before, in this little period before the swim. So now's the time really to get those asks out there. So please, if you haven't already, or even if you already have, don't stop doing this. Tell your family and friends how your training is going. We suggest share a little video, something that can be a little bit awkward and embarrassing for some of us. But even if you're not super confident, actually, especially if you're not super confident, because it kind of makes it feel a bit more real and accessible. It doesn't have to be polished. If you speak from the heart, people will respond to that. So be brave, tell your story, because it's stories that change the world. If you're really not sure where to start, I suggest using WhatsApp as a really powerful fundraising tool. Just text messages, good old-fashioned text messages, personal, direct, and easy. And actually, my number one fundraising tip is the simplest of all. Ask five really close friends and family to sponsor you a specific amount to get you started. You'd be amazed at how quickly that goes. We tend to suggest that doing targeted personal one-to-one asks really helps people support you instead of just doing a blast to your entire network and it feeling like, you're talking to everybody. A couple of other bits of things that we suggest are really good at this point in the season. Really make sure that your Just Giving page is up to date. So if you're already one of those absolute spectacular the magnificent superstars who've already hit your fundraising target, actually just setting a slightly bigger fundraising target sends a really powerful signal to your community, to your friends and family, that actually you're not done yet and they can still support you. But make sure you just keep it up to date. Send a little thank you to the people who supported you, update it with training updates. Just make sure it's lived in and people kind of know it's an active thing. It really does make a huge difference. And look, we've got loads of resources, support, bits and pieces that you can use. We've got videos, photos, real stories of the families that we work with, even a few reels that we filmed at pools. They're all in the fundraising hub, and they're all there for you. So if you've not made your way there yet, I suggest you go and have a look at that. Maybe when I finish talking, maybe when we finish this evening, go and spend a bit of time poking around in the fundraising hub. We'll drop a link in the chat to it. Magic Ben read my mind. Thank you, Ben. If you haven't had your first donation yet, a great way to start is just actually self-donate. Put £15. It costs us £15 to deliver a swimming lesson to a disabled child. And one of our amazing sponsors, our friends Vivo Barefoot, are match funding the first £15 from every single one of our supports, every one of our fundraisers. So it's a really brilliant way to get you started. We've got loads of amazing resources, bits and pieces, and fundraising prizes because we work with some wonderful partners, wonderful supporters who help make our events possible. And they allow us the opportunity to show you how grateful we are. So we've got prizing, once for our fundraisers who hit your certain milestones, there's prizes and rewards, gifts that we can give you. But with our top fundraisers this year, we'll receive a Red paddleboard. We've got some incredible dry bags from Red. Swim Track have donated us another holiday to support us this year. We've got the wetsuits from Zone 3. So actually, we reward good fundraising here at Level Water because we know how important it is and how special that is. And actually, just because we want to say an enormous thank you to you for what you do. Yeah, if there's anything we can do to help you with your fundraising, if you have any questions or you just want to have a chat with us, just drop us a line at fundraise@levelwater.org. Me or my colleague Jasmine will be on the end of that, and we will talk to you and we will be there to help you and get you over the line. But I'd like to finish just with a story. I mentioned we work with 1,500 children every week. I'm just going to tell you about one. I'm going to tell you about a young man called Suvir. He's 9 and lives with a condition called muscular dystrophy. Muscular dystrophy is a very rare muscle wasting condition that over time weakens the muscles and makes it quite difficult, obviously difficult, to do anything. You think our heart, our lungs, they're all muscles. But when Suvir is in the water, something pretty special happens. And he just completely lights up. And it's visible in his entire being, his entire body. His mum, Tanvi, found out about Level Water. And really what she wanted for him was a space where he could move, build strength, and to be honest, just be a child without limits. So we paired him with one of our teachers, Emma. And Emma designed every session really just for him and around his needs and around his specific abilities. We like to think it's 50% swimming lesson, 50% physiotherapy, 100% pure joy. The bond between Emma and Suvir has been amazing. He goes to these sessions, he laughs, he's confident, he's playful. And afterwards, his mum has told us that friends who haven't seen him for a while really just can't quite believe the difference in him. Outside of the pool, life can be very challenging for Suvir. Tanvi, his mum, is preparing to become a full-time carer. They're currently searching for an accessible school for him and thinking about how they can adapt his home so it can meet his needs moving forwards. But in the water, for that 30 minutes every week, all of that disappears. And he's not defined by what he can't do. He's free. Tanvi's told us if she'd build a pool in their garden just to keep giving him that joy. And really, that's the power of what you're doing. Your fundraising gives families like Suvir's that joy, that freedom, that hope. So we can share swimming, this activity that we all love, with more people and make it possible for everybody. So, on behalf of everybody at Level Water, on behalf of all of the families we work with, the pools, the teachers, everybody in our community, thank you. Because while your fundraising definitely does have a numerical value, and I am definitely keeping count, to the families that we work with, it's priceless. And really, it can't be given away. So we will see you in a couple of weeks' time. We can't wait. We'd love to hear your questions. I know Ben's been keeping a very close eye on the chat. Ben, do we have any questions from the good folks at home?
Got a few, yeah, we've got a few really interesting ones actually. Me and Jen have been answering. But if your question hasn't been answered, feel free to ask away and get back to you. I think there was a good mention about what it's like underfoot when you get out of the water. Jen answered it, but it's good for people on the recording.
Yeah, I can answer that. So the marina section it's designed as a walkway for a marina, so it's built from wooden slats but with like grippy pads on. So I guess it's kind of sort of thick hard rubber on wood, which will be the part where you come up their walkway and across the bridge. There's then a paved section through the bar, which we may put carpet on. And then there's about probably 100 meters of some version of tarmac slash pavement before you get to Coronation Park and you're on grass. I have walked probably about twice that distance, that 100 meters, barefoot to make sure that We think it's okay. We think it's okay. So yeah, be ready for a little bit of kind of tarmac pavement before Coronation Park. What you can do is cross the road as soon as you get back to the park and get onto grass. Ben, was there anything else in there that was asked a few times that might be helpful to share with everyone who hasn't seen the chat?
Um, Well, where spectators will be watching from. I know you covered it briefly as part of the kind of post swim.
Yep. So spectators are very welcome to the Marina Bar. The Marina Bar looks over the swim finish. Fully functioning bar, so there'll be alcoholic, non-alcoholic drinks. They will be able to see you come out of the water. You will not be repatriated with them there. You will need to walk straight away from the bar area to where our finish funnel is. And then after that, you can see and say hi to friends and family. We just need to keep everyone moving at the finish to make sure the people behind you can also get out of the water. But yes, please do come and watch the finish from the Marina Bar.
Amazing. And Christine just had a question about socks, boots. Yeah, socks,
Socks and
boots, gloves.
boots, absolutely fine.
That's
Yeah,
fine.
soft neoprene swim accessories, no problem. Same thing with neoprene hats if you get a chilly bonce.
Nicola asks, how can we check on water temperature in the build up to the event? Please, knowing is
I
everything.
do not believe there are any public sources of data for water temperature on our swim course. So most of the water in there is seawater. Like the vast majority of water in most of the swim is seawater. So your best bet is looking for seawater temperatures around kind of Dartmouth, Sugary Cove. We try and take temperature readings once we're there, which is probably from like Wednesday. So we'll try and get a temperature reading to you. But I don't think I've not found. If you do find a reliable public source, please let us know.
Cool. And Megan, yes, we will have special gold hats for hat trick dart swimmers. Just let us know on the reg desk.
Yeah, very important point. If this is your third dart or more, you will be in a gold hat. They're hard earned, so we want to celebrate you.
Sarah is asking, do you know how many skin swimmers there are each day? Bit concerned, nothing warm to put on from exit to event village, especially if it's windy.
Yeah, I heard Jen answer this earlier today. I think it's about 40 or 50 per day. Yeah, I think that the best answer to that is if you have a spectator, for a spectator to bring coat, jumper, dry robe, whatever you would like to the finish line. We don't have the logistical setup to get dry robes right at the finish line for every skin swimmer. So if you can ask either a spectator, friend, another swimmer's family to meet you with something, that's your best bet. If it's a really serious concern, please email us at swimat, particularly if you're a seasoned skins swimmer and know that you do get cold fast. Email us and we'll see what we can do.
Amazing. Daniel, yes, Andy, correct me if I'm wrong, but you can make a one-off payment for our work with gift aid on the donate page.
Absolutely, you can. Yeah, be thrilled. We'd be delighted. I mean, yeah, let me pop a link in the chat then.
I can do that. William, I've been sent a pink hat in the post. That is part of our fundraising prizes. So you've hit a milestone, and you've got a little package from us to say a big thank you. Should have some words of encouragement, a pink hat, and I believe a brew on us. Megan asked, are there jellyfish being closer to the sea for the new route?
I have not seen jellyfish in the estuary. I think there can be. There's certainly life around. We've always had seals on our route, which are pretty amazing and kind of poke their heads up and have a look at the swimmers. They enjoy the spectacle. Not aware of any major jellyfish swarms or significant numbers I can't guarantee no jellyfish. It's the ocean, but again, no major concerns to report. Again, if we do hear something like that, we will absolutely let you know.
Amazing. And Robert asks, the bag on the boat, where can we pick that up?
Your boat bag will go back to the event village in Coronation Park. So when you come back to Coronation Park, Jen, you should probably answer this, but I guess there'll be two separate bag collection areas.
Yes, there will be. So there'll be the initial bag collection, which is your larger bag, and then we will do our absolute best to get the bags off of the ferries and back to the event village as quickly as possible. For those of you who are really speedy, you may have a little wait, but we will do our best to get them there quickly, and then you can collect those from a secondary section in the bag drop tent.
If we are organised enough getting off the ferries and dropping bags, we'll be super quick at the other end. But yeah, the ferry has to beat you back first, and then we've got a bit of logistics.
And Jane just asked how secure these bags are at the event village.
We have staff there the whole time who will be overseeing the baggage area. And then as you collect your bag, we check that your number on your hand matches your number on your bag.
Amazing. Any more for any more?
Just see Anne saying that she trained for this swim last year. She doesn't think she's got a third year training in. So, and we are honestly delighted to be able to bring you this new route. You know, I've swum the route and it's gorgeous. I think you'll absolutely love it. So, you know, we feel like we are caretakers of the Dart 10K, really. It's, you know, it's a long and prestigious event. And, you know, there is a duty to keep it alive, keep swimmers coming back. I really hope that, you know, people see and hear just how amazing this new route is and you know, it'll be very hard to get tickets for next year. We always hope that. But yeah, I hope you all really enjoy yourselves. Please come and say hi. Of terrible names and faces. Although I did see Sean and Leon here amongst all the people that I should have noticed. So it's lovely to see you both. And yes, we will absolutely see you all out there. If there's anything that we have not answered or you didn't fancy asking in public, please email swim@levelwater.org. Oh, it looks like we have a little flurry of last minute questions. Should we carry on, Ben?
Yeah, I think some of them might be getting ordered. Order of the waves.
Slow to fast.
Slow to
So
fast.
orange, red, white, blue.
Can I leave my glasses in a case in my ferry bag, please, and collect at the end?
That doesn't seem unreasonable. Yes, I suspect if they fit in there and they're in a hard case, we're unlikely to know. And yes. Right. Do we think we've done it?
I think we may have.
Superb. Andy, Ben, Jen, thank you all ever so much. Thank you everybody for coming. Sorry we've overrun by a minute, but we look forward to seeing you down there in a couple of weeks.